So I set myself a challenge here. I want to record something that in 7 minutes makes you a better employer brander, regardless of where you work, what level you're at. Even if you're not in employer branding proper, but you're doing employer branding stuff, how can I help you get better in just 7 minutes? And here's what I came up with: 9 ideas that when you embrace them will make you better. You got to figure out how to apply them the right way, but these 9 ideas will absolutely make you better at what you do. So here we go. First, number 1, redefine the game. If you think employer branding is all about making pretty pictures and you don't want to do that, change the game. That means getting people to understand what they should expect from a good employer brand. That's not a deck. It's not about parroting the same lines all the time or the hashtag that everybody says over and over again. It's about understanding how you're different. Or maybe it's about understanding how you're the best company. Whatever that idea is, you need to define that. That means you pick the game you are going to play. 2, if you're going to do that, you need stories that stick. Just saying it's all about how you're going to be different doesn't work. No one will believe you. No one will listen to you. You need to have stories and examples that really underline how important it is that you're different instead of being good, or different instead of being pretty. I like car metaphors. If you understand the difference between a Ferrari and a Volvo, I say this stuff all the time. That's how I'm trying to get you to understand that being different is how you win. You need metaphors and stories so that people can understand the bigger idea. Number 3, have a great example. Now, to do this, beyond the metaphors of cars or whatever your particular metaphor of choice is, you need a real world, inside of recruiting and marketing example that you can point to. It may be a single role, it may be a single project, it may be a single campaign, but you need to show how your idea produces results. You're asking, effectively, for permission to do it more. But to do that, you need to show at least some kind of win, some kind of idea. Now, of course, the question is, how do you get that first win? Guerrilla marketing, pilot projects, try new things, experiment. If you're always experimenting, if you're always trying new things, successes happen, wins get to happen, and you get to take advantage of that. Number 4, build a map. There is no straight line from where you are to where you want to be, but it doesn't mean you can't know where you're going. It doesn't mean you can't have a sense of the things you're going to run into between here and there. That map doesn't have to be exact. It doesn't have to be step by step. It doesn't have to know where every boulder and every rock is. It needs to understand that generally we're heading in that direction, so that when you do hit obstacles, you're not stymied, you're not stuck. You go, okay, if this is the obstacle, how do I keep continuing in that direction? You need a map of where this is going. That means there are some things you do early in the process, whether it's defining what makes you different, defining that EVP, defining how recruiters use it. Later on in the process, it might be how leadership understands it, how leadership talks about it. Maybe even deeper beyond that, it's how it's embedded in things like referral projects and culture projects. You can't do that stuff at the beginning. You have to understand the path, which means you need to have a map. Number 5, make friends. This is obvious, and yet it's so important. It's so important that you're always making new friends. Sometimes it's someone who just got hired. Sometimes it's someone in a business area you will never ever be involved in. Sometimes it's a leader, sometimes it's not. It doesn't matter. It's not about being well liked. It's about understanding how other people are working, how they're using your work, so that you can find areas of opportunity where you can insert yourself and say, I have an idea to make this better. For example, you're going to want to talk to leaders who are having hiring problems. You want to hear their challenges. What kind of candidates are they getting? What would they wish they could get? And you can start to map out a plan on how to get them from where they are now to where they want to be. You can't do that blindly. You can't just say, hey, I got an idea how to make your life better. No one listens to that. What you have to do is build a relationship, hear their challenges first, and start to talk about how you can help them resolve those challenges. So that always starts with making friends. Number 6, build systems. Now, this is a very big, broad idea, so I'm only going to tap the very surface of it, but you'll get the idea. So if you do make friends and you do help someone, what happens then? Plenty of people, when helped, they'll say thank you, and that's the end of their relationship. But some people, if you're thinking in systems, you will ask them, hey, is there anybody else? Do you know any other hiring managers who are having similar problems? Would you introduce me to them? Would you talk about this work to them so that they start to become interested in what this is? You are building advocates inside the company as you go. It's a system because each positive step creates the next set of movements, that you're always moving things forward. And each individual addition, whether in this system it's each new hiring manager you're making happy, starts to generate a tsunami or an avalanche of positive goodwill. People who really like what you're doing because they can see it as helpful. Over time, leadership hears about this. They start to ask questions. What are you up to? What's the work being done? Why is everybody saying such nice things about you? That's how you build a system. It starts with something small, like helping someone. It turns into everybody understanding the work you're doing. 7, you got to measure the right things. Now, there's a million things you could measure, yes, so you have to measure stuff that 1, is kind of sort of in your control to some extent, though that's always fuzzy, but 2, matters to the business. If you increase your brand awareness, how do you describe that so that a CFO goes, oh, that's a really good thing, we want that? Because CFOs don't think in terms of brand, right? Developers do not think in terms of brand. They don't think in terms of, oh, good, lots of people saw us. It's not positive or not useful to them. You've got to think in terms of things they already care about. So for the CFO, you want to talk about money, how you're saving money, how you're streamlining processes so you're more effective, you're bringing more skills to bear. To the developer, it's about how you're leveling up and bringing a higher level of talent to them so that they can hire them. They each care about different things. You have to measure the stuff that matters to them, not to you. You're already thrilled with the job you're doing. You need to be making them fans of the work you're doing. You do that by measuring stuff that matters. Number 8, take victory laps. Look, there's something endemic about what we do that a lot of people are very inclined and sometimes just happy to do the work quietly at their desk. They don't ask for attention. They don't ask for the spotlight. I know it sounds crazy coming from me, but it's true. A lot of people don't know how to ask for the spotlight. And I'm not saying you should be a glory hog. And I'm not saying you should do a tap dance routine at every single all hands. What I am saying is that you need to show your value. And sometimes that means sending a report showing the level of talent that you've brought in, or the change in speed, or the change in costs, and make sure that report gets into more leaders' hands. If you want to influence marketing, show how your work is ending up in the consumer marketing kind of pile of stuff, that they're leveraging your stories, that they're leveraging the videos, that they're leveraging the content that you're building, the people stuff, and using it to sell more products. Show them, make it clear, underline how you have impacted them. Take that victory lap. And finally, you should always have lots of options for your next big step. When you win, companies tend to give you rewards of giving you more resources to see if you can win bigger. If you win with $10,000 budget, they want to see what you can do with a $100,000 budget, or maybe even more. But if you lose that opportunity, if you miss, that striking while the iron is hot situation, if you miss out, if you go, oh yeah, I'll get back to you in a couple weeks with some good ideas, you're going to miss out. The second a leader says, wow, I wonder what you could do with $50,000, you should immediately respond with, I actually have 2 ideas. I'd love to talk to you about them. You should strike while the iron is hot, because those wins, those positive opportunities do not happen every day. Now, you should have options, because sometimes the next big win is going to be $500 and sometimes the next big win is going to be worth $500,000. So you should have lots of different ideas for each of those situations, depending on what shows up. So, is this documenting the entire employer brand journey? No, absolutely. But can everybody get something out of this? I feel pretty confident. I hope that you found a couple of things that you said, yep, I've got to spend more time thinking about this idea, thinking about how to apply it to my day-to-day so that I can be a better employer brander and get the respect that I really deserve. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to share it. Let people know. Thanks for watching.